He brings his new girlfriend to meet his wife. Wait, what? Gino always wears a cap, as if it's fused to his skull. His hidden gift? Turning the simple into a mess and hurting the people who least deserve it sometimes without realizing it. Or maybe he does, and just can't resist the sport of self-destruction. Natalie arrives in Michigan glowing with optimism, convinced this trip could be a step forward. He hasn't just invited her for the weekend, he's asked her to meet his family. For her, that's serious. For him, well, that's less clear. The problem is that Gino is trapped in an emotional web spun by his ex, Jasmine. This woman didn't just leave a mark on his life, she seems tattooed onto his subconscious. And worst of all, Natalie has no idea that Shadow is still very much alive. Their first meeting is all smiles and flowers. Sweet, yes, but it feels like a preemptive apology for something unsaid. Natalie hugs him, reassured. Gino, meanwhile, is thinking, she looks so much like Jasmine. An alarm bell he mutes, because untangling his own confusion is too much work. They spend the afternoon together, even getting into a hot tub. Romantic setting, background music, warm water, and Gino, of course, still wearing his cap as if guarding a secret. Between laughs and caresses, something feels off. He doesn't open up, doesn't let himself go. Natalie notices. And then, out of nowhere, Gino drops the line. It's just, I still feel like I'm married. This is where you wonder. If you still feel married, why invite someone new, fly her in, and put her in a hot tub? Common sense isn't Gino's department. Honesty, even less so. Natalie tries to be understanding. She thinks maybe he's still processing the end of his marriage. But there's a difference between healing and dragging someone else through your emotional mud. The next day, while they're out for a walk, he drops the first bomb. There's something I haven't told you. Michelle invited Jasmine to the birthday party. Natalie stares at him in disbelief. She traveled to meet the family, not to rub shoulders with the ex who still orbits Gino like a toxic satellite. Michelle, whether she's a cousin or an overzealous friend, depending on who you ask, is one of those people who enjoy lighting the fuse and then sitting back to watch the fire. Inviting Jasmine wasn't naive. It was premeditated. Natalie, caught between discomfort and pride, decides to go anyway. How bad can it be? She tells herself. The answer is about to leave her speechless. They arrive at the party. Everything starts off calm. Greetings, tense smiles, basic politeness. But Michelle, who can't keep her mouth shut, asks Natalie if she knows that Gino is still in contact with Jasmine. And not only that, she reveals that he and his ex had dinner together just a few days ago. And now she learns there was a recent dinner, that there was still hope for progress. The word hope feels like a dagger. She makes it clear she won't be the woman who competes for an indecisive man. And this is when the Queen of Chaos herself, Jasmine, enters the scene. Jasmine arrives with Matt, her roommate, who just happens to be her current boyfriend, but acts as if Gino is still her personal property. From the doorway, she fires her first verbal bullet. Is this a birthday party or a strip show? Why did you bring the chick from Vegas? Subtlety is not in her skill set. The worst part isn't just the words. Jasmine steps forward, closes the distance, and shoves. It's the spark that lights the fuse. Natalie, who didn't come to be anyone's punching bag, pushes back with equal force. And just like that, two women who shouldn't hate each other because, in reality, they've both been deceived in different ways, end up locked in a fight worthy of a reality television bonus episode. The irony is that Jasmine channels all her anger toward Natalie, when the real culprit is Gino. He's the one who invited her without telling her the full story. He's the one keeping a door half open to his ex while promising exclusivity to the new woman. But Jasmine doesn't want to hear reason. In her mind, she's still the rightful wife. She prides herself on having the rings as if that were irrefutable proof the bond still exists. All this while her current partner looks on silently. Coherence is nowhere to be found. The party becomes an uncomfortable spectacle. And the most absurd part? The one who ends up being kicked out is Natalie. Yes, the only one who came with good intentions and without deceiving anyone. Gino, instead of defending her, has to be told to go after her. When he finally comes outside, he stammers out an apology. Don't listen to what Jasmine says, he tells her, as if that's enough to erase public humiliation. The line sounds hollow, almost insulting. Natalie looks at him with a mix of sadness and clarity. This is not what she came here for. Meanwhile, inside the house, the family seems more entertained than concerned. There's something twisted about that dynamic. Everyone knows the tension exists. Everyone knows Gino can't set clear boundaries, and yet they feed it. Free drama. Jasmine, proud of her outburst, tries to justify herself. She says that seeing Natalie laughing with her family possessed her with a demonic rage. As if fury were some outside force that took over her, and not something she chose to fuel. It's the same pattern that destroyed her marriage and that, apparently, she'll keep repeating. The irony is that while she accuses Natalie of stealing Gino, she forgets she emotionally checked out long ago. Her relationship with Matt and her own family distance are proof that the bond was already broken. The final straw comes when, in front of the cameras, Jasmine claims she did it all for love. That love that's expressed through insults, shoving, and public theatrics. That love that, curiously, never pushed her to build something healthy but instead to blow it all up. And Gino, the epicenter of this chaotic triangle, stays silent. He doesn't take sides. He doesn't set things straight. His role, as always, is that of the man who shrugs while Troy burns around him. Natalie, in the end, sums it up with a line that sounds like a verdict. I don't want to be a part of this. It's a boundary, a door closing. The question is whether she'll have the strength to keep it shut, or if Gino's toxic magnetism will pull her back. Because if anything has become clear, it's that there are no pure victims or absolute villains here, just a repeated pattern. Half-truths, strategic omissions, and a collective inability to have honest conversations before things turn into a circus. What was supposed to be a weekend of bonding ended as a high-tension episode, with everyone a little more exposed and a lot more broken. And if Gino expected Natalie to still see a future with him after all this, he should probably remember that even in reality television, the patience of the audience, and of the main characters, has its limits. So, if you survived this roller coaster of caps, chaos, and ex-wives crashing birthday parties, you deserve a medal, or at least a front row seat for the next disaster. Hit that like button if you'd never let your new partner introduce you to their still angry ex, and don't forget to subscribe because with stories like these, reality writes better telenovelas than Netflix ever could.